It's me, Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, and all those terrible Jay and Silent Bob type pictures, man. You're listening to Drop the Mic, the only podcast that I listen to that I'm not a part of. Every podcast I listen to, I usually talk on it, but not fucking Drop the Mic. That's where I'm like, let me hear what the boys have to say. And now, we drop the mic.
Oh, give me the names. They claim they're the IRA, but I don't know who they really are. I'm doing everything I can to find out who's responsible. You're lying! Who killed my daughter? I'm sorry. I truly don't know yet. Explosives bombers use the same SH. Yes. You know about Semtex? I know Semtex H. During the war, Czechs made for the Red Gold. Good for bombs and traps. Vietnam? Yes. Many American people died by Semtex H. Now, I hurry used to kill my daughter. That's ironic. I've read your history. We both know about war. We both tried to put it behind us. You and me, we're alike. We are nothing alike. They're nothing. You kill women and children. Names! To Almighty God, I don't know. Wait. I've set a trap for them when they use the next bomb. When they claim responsibility for the next bombing, they'll use a code word. Telling the police that I've changed that code word. So when they use it, they'll know. Yeah, one day. What if they don't set off a bomb by then? 24 hours.
Welcome back to our humble San Diego podcast. We are your hosts, Wesley Swanson and Ryan Jimenez, and together we are the Drop the Mic podcast. This time around, we will be chatting about the 2017 film The Foreigner in episode 298, Different Ends of the Same Snake. But first, let's get warmed up with a few of our usual intro segments.
And now for a special news report. Brought to you by Drop the Mic.
What's up, Ryan? How are you?
What's up? How's it going?
Good.
Chilling, trying to survive the holidays, but we're gonna get there collectively.
That's right. I feel like we're edging towards the end. Not too much. Longer.
Trudging forward, we are, but not that much more longer.
All right, my guy, what do you have for us on the news front this week?
Yeah, dude. So, couple Disney related things. So, I'm pretty sure everyone knows, but Bob Iger has returned as Disney CEO, saving us all from that hellscape that was Bob Chapek's reign. I'm super stoked for Iger to come back because he did a lot of good things, positive things while he was there. And Bob Chapek kind of felt like it kind of ran into the ground. And it's kind of crazy that they just fucking see you later and just Bob Iger's back. Hopefully it brings some change to Disneyland as well, like their pass system and just in general, it needs a big overhaul, Disneyland. And under Bob Iger, I'm pretty sure it'll get back to where it was. The company in general.
So you're excited?
Oh yeah, dude. Bob Iger's the dude. And some more Disney news. It was announced, I think yesterday, that Splash Mountain at Disney World will finally be closing in January 2023. To make way for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. The new attraction will continue the story started in The Princess and the Frog. So they're finally going to get rid of that ride. I know they announced in January, the exact date, I think it's like January 22nd in Disney World. I guess that's the last day you'll be able to ride Splash Mountain. And I think they said just hold on a little bit more for news to come for Disneyland Splash Mountain. But eventually it's gonna do the same thing. So that's pretty rad for us to be getting a Princess and the Frog attraction, and it's awesome that they're making the move from Splash Mountain because it is kind of low-key racist with that damn ass song.
Yeah, that's why they kind of they stopped like all the merch and stuff for that
Yeah.
that ride and that movie.
Yeah. Even growing up, dude, like going there little and riding that ride, it just always felt off with that song. And then finally realizing what it was about and shit, and it's like, Jesus Christ. But it's cool. I know there's like a whole bunch of people starting petitions and shit, but that ain't gonna change shit. Do you like Splash Mountain? Did you ever ride it?
I've ridden it
Yeah.
a few times in my life. The only thing that ever really stood out to me is that insane drop. To be honest, it has always scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Very similar to that drop in the Universal Studios, what's now called Jurassic World. I know you haven't been yet, right?
I've heard about that drop. Yeah, the drop was crazy. I always felt like I was gonna hit my head on those fucking those thorns that are like go over you.
Yeah.
So like I think in all my pictures that I've ever taken there, I'm like super hunched over, moving away from some Disney news. In a recent interview, Joe Pesci revealed that he did most of his stunts shooting Home Alone 2 and even suffered serious burns on his head for that big flaming head scene, which is wild. Like you can't pay someone to do Joe Pesci stunts.
Funny how.
I can't even like imagine him doing those stunts, and like I always like thinking now, like I noticed that shit. Like obviously, someone standing in, or even that scene with him with his head on fire, it looks real. So I thought that was, they did some type of magic. But to hear he did a lot of his stuff on that movie and the shit that they went through, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, because I mean, both of those movies are literally the sticky bandits, wet bandits getting just pulverized the entire time by McAllister.
Oh man, my last bit of news is all those dope ass fucking trailers that we got yesterday. I don't know if you saw like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and that new Super Mario Brothers trailer. Did you see any of them?
I watched was the Indiana Jones and that new, was it the new Transformers? What is it?
Yeah, that too. That's right.
Beast Wars.
Yeah. What'd you think about them?
I haven't seen the newest Super Mario Brothers trailer, unless it's the one that was playing when I went to see Wakanda Forever. Unless that's the new one you're talking about, where it's like the Bowser battle with the penguins in the beginning.
No, it's a different one. It's a longer one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I haven't seen that one yet. But Indiana Jones, even though I've heard that test screenings haven't went great, it has a stacked cast. I'm always a believer for Mads Mikkelsen is always great.
Yeah.
He's in it. So hopefully that's good. And then Transformers, I haven't been besides Bumblebee, the biggest, and maybe the first Transformers, I haven't been the biggest fan of those, but this one kind of looks like it's could be good, and I like that the Beast Wars that animation series, or the 3D series, whatever you want to call it. It looked decent. What are your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, dude. I mean, Indiana Jones is probably one of my favorite franchises. Fucking gotta love Harrison Ford. Except for the fucking Crystal Skull. Fucking Jesus Christ. But I was there opening night. Fucking trying to see my man's Indy. So I did show up for that. But yeah, dude, I thought it looked good. I didn't hear about any of those test screenings, so that's kind of interesting to hear that they've been kind of going not that great. But it's always good to see him on screen, dude. And then from what we all hear, it's like his last hurrah. So hopefully he can go out with a bang. And then yeah, dude, the Beast Wars, the new Transformers, it looks decent. I like the way it looks, and got to give it up for fucking Optimus Primal, voiced by I think Ron Perlman. Yeah, those look decent. I mean, I'll go see them. Especially, I mean, I'm definitely gonna go see Indy, but Transformers just kind of looks like I put those movies in the same, other than Bumblebee, in the same category as fucking Fast and the Furious, where it's just 2 hours of fucking blowing shit up.
Man,
So,
yeah.
sign me up. Give me a large popcorn and a large Diet Cherry Coke, and I'm fucking there. And the Super Mario Brothers, dude. I know everyone's bashing Chris Pratt and the voice and everything, but it looks good, dude. Like the animation looks fucking awesome. The cast is fucking stacked, so it looks good. I'm excited. We got to see in that trailer. They show a little bit of Donkey Kong, and you kind of hear Seth Rogen's laugh. You get a little bit more Princess Peach, Luigi, voiced by I think Charlie Day, right?
Yes.
So yeah, dude, it looks good. I'm excited for that. I know they're already talking about spin-offs, like Donkey Kong's gonna get his own spin-off. Hopefully, what would be awesome is if Luigi got his own spooky spin-off, like Luigi's Mansion type shit. Because
yeah.
I don't know if you played Luigi's Mansion 3, but I fucking loved the shit out of that. That whole franchise is awesome, but that Luigi's Mansion 3 was dope. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, dude, it looks like it's gonna be a tearjerker. James Gunn kind of signing off for Marvel with his last hurrah at Guardians. It looks good, dude. Looks like there's going to be a lot of I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a lot of goodbyes to big characters that we know, whether it be leaving or also because it's supposed to be the last Guardians with this team, so there's going to be change.
All right. First up, Netflix and Tim Burton have smashed a streaming record with the new series already having 341.23 million hours viewed for Wednesday.
God damn.
Yeah, for Wednesday, and debuting at number 1, making it the series to now have the most views within a week of release for any English-based series on Netflix. Sorry, Stranger Things. Pretty intense.
That's crazy, dude. That's insane. Thinking of all the things that Netflix has put out and all the big things Netflix has put out, Stranger Things being their biggest, that's crazy.
Who knew this spin-off of the Addams Family would just absolutely crush.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. Like I said last week, whole lot of fun. In my last bit of news, not too much this week, Intrepid Pictures, fronted by Mike Flanagan and Trevor Macy, have signed a multi-year series deal with Amazon Pictures, which is coming as somewhat of a shock, with Flanagan being a loyal to Netflix for years now. So they are jumping ship, apparently.
Yeah, Netflix fumbled that bag big time. Because I feel like Flanagan and his team are kind of at the top right now with that type of stuff in that genre. So it's wild. Amazon threw them that Amazon Prime money. Now Netflix is gonna have to look elsewhere for all that good spooky shit. But yeah, dude, good for him.
It's gonna be good because I don't think Prime, at least original content, they don't have anything in that super strong in that thriller horror kind of genre as far as original material goes. So bringing Flanagan aboard, I think, is going to definitely bring a new audience to them as well.
His last thing that is coming out this fall is still coming out for Netflix though, right?
I believe so, yes.
So what is it, the Edgar Allan Poe shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's going to be interesting to see. I haven't watched the Midnight Club yet, but it's going to be interesting to see if he can take that and do something with it on Amazon.
Midnight Club is amazing. I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's great. And I think you'll dig it too.
And now it's time for the weekly recommendations.
Yeah. So I got a slew of things, different types of media that I'm going to wreck out today. But yeah, first off, Wednesday, we just talked about it, but it's fucking good, dude. I like where they're going with the story and just the overall, just kind of mix up and change of that story. You know, it needed something a little bit fresh, a little bit more younger, and we're definitely getting it. Jenny Ortega, what a fucking couple years she's had. This and Scream's about to come out in a couple months, right?
That's right.
Yeah, dude, I think they knocked it out of the park. I know, you know, I've been seeing shit online about it, that it's not close to, you know, the source material and all this bullshit, but like we always say, dude, people complain about things being the same, and then when people do things differently, they fucking complain about it. Or, you know, say it's not like, you know, the old shit. So get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Well, I mean, I was thinking about this to myself, and people getting mad that there's like a supernatural element. There always has been, you know, like even in the movies, in the original 2 movies, like they have they have Thing. He's a fucking appendage hand that can think for himself. That's supernatural. So if that can be in the universe, why can't there be a school for outcasts, you know, with kids who have fucking powers and stuff? And the way that they integrate it into the story for the series is great. It's fluid. It makes sense. There's continuity. Like, and then I loved how the Wednesday character is definitely taking notes off of the Christina Ricci, like her take on the character for the first 2 movies. So then it brings an authenticity that I really enjoy, you know? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a great show. And for all the haters, open up your mind and stop being negative.
And shout out Jenny Ortega. She's fucking killing it on everything. Fucking, she's local from where I'm at. I know she's from the Inland Empire, so pretty dope to see her career go where it's going, from being like from on Nickelodeon, right? Disney Channel, one of those.
I didn't know that. Is that true? That's true?
Yeah. To being like this, our next big screen queen. It's dope.
She's already has so much stuff under her belt within this last couple years. Can't wait to see what she does next.
Yeah. So I had the pleasure of watching The Truman Show, not for the first time, but with my girlfriend for the first time. It was her first watch, and that movie just fucking holds up to this day. It's so fucking good, and Jim Carrey's so great in it. And it's one of those movies that if it's on, my eyes are just fucking glued to the TV because of how great it is and how great Jim Carrey's in it. And she loved it.
That's a hard movie not to love. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, you know, Jim Carrey's his filmography is great, but I think that's my favorite of his, dude. You know, he's gotten, you know, a couple more things under his belt, like serious wise, like Eternal Sunshine and shit like that. But I feel like this one's fucking so well done. Also, side note, I always tell this story, but I don't know if I've told you this, but growing up, there was like a little bit of time where my brother tried to convince me that I was on the Truman Show. I remember going home crying to my mom. But yeah.
That's hilarious.
And then I got to see Glass Onion on Thanksgiving night in the theaters, and I fucking loved it. It's the Knives Out. I wouldn't call it a sequel. It's in the same universe. But yeah, I think if you like Knives Out, you're gonna love Glass Onion. The cast is great. I think Janelle Monáe fucking rocks. I don't know. I haven't really seen anything else she's been in. I know she's been in a couple other things, but she's fucking awesome in it. And Daniel Craig fucking knocks it out of the park again. Dave Bautista, he plays kind of a character you think he would. He's gonna get, you know, he would get typecasted to play, but he's awesome in it. But yeah, If you have I don't think it's playing in theaters anymore. You're gonna have to wait, I think, till Netflix. I think in like a week or two. But yeah, check out Glass Onion. It is great. Also, like, we got up from the theater and some guy behind me was like, "That was literally the worst fucking movie I've ever seen in my life." What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
For Glass Onion? Really?
Yes. Has he never seen fucking I don't know, any other movie but I turned to Sandy and I was like, "Did he really say that?" And she was like, "Yeah, he fucking said that."
I don't
They're
know,
wild.
man. I hear that a lot in theaters. Stupidest fucking thing I've ever watched.
I don't know. Maybe it's because he was like sitting directly right behind me, and I was like busting up laughing the entire fucking time. So maybe I don't know. Maybe he did it on purpose or something. But he said it like way too loud and way too like right in my ear for me for it to be not kind of obvious. And then the day before that, we went to go see Disney's new Strange World in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's getting a lot of. It basically is going to be one of Disney's biggest bombs ever. But I thought it was solid, dude. It wasn't the greatest Disney animation movie, and it wasn't like the worst. I definitely feel like it's going to be kind of in that group of movies that in about like 10 years, 10, 15 years, just like, what was that movie? Atlantis?
Oh, yeah.
Animated movie where people just kind of find it again and fall in love with it, or kind of like a cult Disney classic. But I liked it, dude. It was the voice cast was great. Fucking Dennis Quaid and Jake Gyllenhaal. But yeah, I mean, if it's not, you don't want to spend any money in theaters, I'm sure it's going to be on Disney Plus soon. But it's a good family flick to check out.
So it's not doing well?
No, dude. I think I still that week of Thanksgiving, I think I saw the numbers, and it opened in like 4,000 theaters and only made like, I want to say like 25, 26 million, whereas Glass Onion only opened in like 600 theaters and it made like fucking 15 million.
So why do you think that is?
I don't know. I know a lot of people have been saying that it didn't get a lot of like
PR.
PR. Yeah, you didn't see anything for it, which was the case. I mean, you kind of didn't see anything. I never saw any trailers. I don't watch a lot of like cable TV or like, TV where they would show commercials, but I never saw any commercials. The reason why I knew about it is because our local movie theater had a couple of movie posters. So that's the reason why I knew about it. I know like in Disneyland too, there wasn't a lot of merch for it at all. And usually for their new movies, there's fucking, at least shirts and pins and stuff like that. But yeah, dude, I don't know what it could be. I mean, I know I'm sure a lot of fucking piece of shit parents were upset because it does feature like the main character is openly gay.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, dude, I don't see, like I said, dude, it's not like, it's not like their recents were like Encanto or something like that, where it's like really good. But it's not bad. I think it was a solid family flick, and that aspect of it, having the main character being, LGBTQ plus and a person of color is fucking awesome for cartoons like that and animated flicks like that. But I don't know, man. I think just people just like to hate on things. And then too, dude, I've seen like a lot of streamers like and people I follow kind of like say the same thing, or it wasn't great and they expected more from Disney and stuff like that. And I think that kind of turned people away. Just word of mouth that it was kind of a flop and a bomb. But yeah, when it comes on to gets onto Disney Plus, definitely check it out.
I will definitely be checking that out.
I think I told you about the band, but it's probably going to be like my favorite album of the year. It just came out like a couple weeks ago. It's by a band called Fleshwater, and the album's called "We're Not Here to Be Loved." I think that when you look at like you want to look at like music, and especially when you throw the terms of like your favorite albums of the year, you want the music to kind of at least I always want that music to kind of do something different that no one's doing at the time, or kind of pushing that genre a little bit forward. They have a very I think that the album kind of pushes things forward, but they kind of have that kind of nostalgic, kind of Deftone-y, fucking on the verge of like new metal, kind of shoegazy sound. But it's refreshing, dude. I hadn't heard an album like that in a while. So yeah, go and fucking stream it everywhere. Flesh Waters, We're Not Here to Be Loved. Check it out if you like good shit. And then my last rec is a video game that's been out for fucking years, but I just got it on Switch. It just came out on Switch and Xbox. It was only out for, I think, PC and PlayStation, but Persona 5 Royale. It has like all the extra DLC and stuff, but I just got into like Japanese RPGs, and I've been playing. This is like my second one I've been playing, and this one I've always heard is one of the greatest of all time. I had a team member of mine kind of not to go off topic a little bit, but when I like my team, I like to like kind of ask them what they like, and so I can have like kind of like conversations with them here and there about things that are going on in their life and stuff like that, just so I can relate to them. And one of my team members kind of was big into Japanese RPGs and video games and stuff like that. So I said, shit, I've never played one. Like, give me your favorite one. And he told me this one. I was like, oh, I've heard of it. So I picked it up and I like it, dude. It's very different. There's a shit ton of dialogue. It is very RPG-y. But yeah, dude, it's dope. So if that's your thing, go ahead and check out Persona 5 if you haven't. I'm pretty sure most of the population who's into JRPGs has already played it, and I'm the last one. But yeah, definitely give that shit a try. And I think it's free on Xbox Game Pass as well.
All right, I got a few for you. Not quite as much as that, but I have a couple. Since you brought up some video games, let me just do a shout out to the Callisto Protocol that just dropped today. Go support that because it looks so fucking phenomenal and scary. All right, so I watched two things that I had never seen in their entirety, but they've been out for a few years now. First up, I believe it's on Netflix, Elysium. Matt Damon, Jodie Foster. Incredible sci-fi action picture from the mind of Neil Blomkamp, who did District 9 and Chappie, and just an overall super well-rounded filmmaker. Check that out if you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it and it's been a few years, check it out because goddamn, what a good movie. Diego Luna, shout out. It just surpassed everything that I thought it would be. And I was glad that I gave it a chance. And great social commentary in there as well.
Yeah, dude, that fucking movie rocks. Yeah, dude, I saw that in the theaters as well, and that fucking great fucking movie. So he's such a solid fucking filmmaker, and this might be like a little, this might be kind of, a hot take, but I think that fucking District 9, nothing sci-fi has surpassed that yet since then.
Okay,
and
since
no one can
District
change
9.
my mind. Since District 9. Just like totally original fucking everything about it. And then that movie kind of adds on to it, and it's just so fucking good. Man, do I wish we could have gotten his Aliens.
I know, right? And then last night, in the middle of the night, because I suffer from insomnia, I watched Foxcatcher. Steve Carell. Goddamn. Mark Ruffalo.
Tatum, right?
Yeah. Channing Tatum, Mark Ruffalo. Insane movie about like wrestling, but like Olympic style wrestling, traditional wrestling, based on a true story. Very, very good performances, especially from Channing Tatum, who was kind of getting typecast for a while, but then, he started stripping away and doing things that like challenged him more. And this is something that's definitely one of his strongest so far in his filmography. It's streaming right now on the Starz app. Shout out to Starz. Check this film out if you haven't. It's got a 87 on Rotten. And I wanted to throw out this quick side note. This came out in, I believe, 2014 with a little film called Wild, starring Reese Witherspoon. And I went with a couple of friends to see it, and they didn't want to watch Wild. I was all about like, let's fucking watch Reese Witherspoon fucking, huffing it, dude. It'd be rad. And they were all about Foxcatcher. So then we broke this down into a rock, paper, scissors battle. I shit you not. And needless to say, I won, and we watched Wild, and they were mad about it. But I love that film. Reese Witherspoon is awesome always. And then I don't know if it was a grudge or what, but I never followed up and watched Foxcatcher in its entirety until yesterday. But Foxcatcher is an incredible film, and I think that it's every bit as good as Wild was. And out of morbid curiosity, I looked up the Rotten ratings, and Wild has 1% more than Foxcatcher. So for those two that were fighting with me about watching what movie to watch, I still won. All right?
Yeah, dude. That's a fucking awesome movie. Damn, dude, two solid ass wrecks. Yeah, Foxcatcher. I think Tatum should have been nominated as well for supporting. I know Ruffalo was, and Carell was for Best Actor.
It's not
2015.
Yeah, that's not fair that he wasn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And you could have given the award to any of them that year too.
Oh yeah.
Those performances are fucking stellar in that, and it's a wild story. So fucking crazy. Scary stuff. Be aware of who you're around. Oh yeah, and then my last rec, I wanted to give a shout out to Disney Plus's Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. I watched it the other day. Solid stuff. Hilarious. Had me fucking rolling, trying not to fall on the ground because of how ridiculous it is. But if you're a fan of the Guardians, everybody comes in. It's really them, and it's pretty rad. It's about an hour, so not a huge commitment. Check it out if you haven't already. Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw that too. I totally forgot I watched that. Yeah, dude, it's kind of like if you're looking for something feel goody holiday with the Guardians cast. It's good. I fucking love Mantis and Drax. Yeah, their banter is... I'm forever gonna say and shout from the rooftops that Dave Bautista's Drax is one of the most comic accurate fucking on-screen characters we've ever gotten. He's just so fucking awesome. Submitted. Yeah, it was good. Shout out to Kevin Bacon.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now for the movie focus of the week.
All right, man. So that dives us into our main focus this week, which is my pick. I wanted to talk about a little film called The Foreigner. It's from 2017. It's rated R. It's a political thriller. It runs at 1 hour and 56 minutes, and it's got a 66 on Rotten. It was written by David Marconi, directed by Martin Campbell, starring Jackie Chan as Quan and Pierce Brosnan as Liam Hennessy. After the authentic IRA claims credit for a bombing that happens in London, an older Chinese-British citizen seeks vengeance upon the group after his daughter falls victim from the terrorist attack. Quam comes to the British government and then forms former IRA member Liam Hennessy for help, but after their refusal, Kwan takes justice into his own hands. The Foreigner was released in the U.S. October 13, 2017 and grossed $34.4 million in the U.S. while pulling in an astounding $111 million in other territories, adding up to a total of $145.4 million against its small $35 million budget. The film went on to be one of the most watched original Netflix films in the UK for 2018. Although The Foreigner isn't as high octane on the action as one might think, it gets the job done with intense choreography, which is grounded and intentionally sloppy. Solid performance by Jackie Chan, who delivers one of his best dramatic roles in recent memory. Pierce Brosnan plays well as the morally ambiguous Liam, who shines as the unlikable but simultaneously charming Irish government official. Composer Cliff Martinez delivers another pulverizing electronic score, which plays well with the tense and lurid visuals. In closing, the film can feel slightly convoluted in parts, which challenges the viewer to stay engaged for the entirety of the ride, but its grounded approach to the revenge subgenre as well as its blend of domestic terrorism make for an interesting and well worth it experience. 3 out of 5 sleeping doggos. Thank you.
Nice.
So, man, let's open up the floor to you. I know this was a first fresh watch for you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts coming out the gate on this? Fan?
Yeah, man, I thought it was a solid movie. I don't know why it kind of slipped through the cracks. I never saw it. Because it's funny because I mentioned it to some of my team members, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go home. Like we're gonna record tonight, and they're like, oh, what movie you're watching? And they're like, I was like, oh, the Foreigner, and they're like, oh yeah, the Jackie Chan one. I was like, shit, you guys know it too? Like, they're like, yeah, that's a good ass movie. So yeah, dude, I thought it was a solid movie. I like the kind of the foreign relation mix in with kind of like that suspense thriller genre. And I think fucking not only does Jackie Chan kind of give one of his best serious performances, but I think fucking it's one of Pierce Brosnan's fucking best performances as altogether. At least I think he's fucking awesome in it. And I think their acting kind of it keeps you entertained and kind of keeps everything moving. But yeah, dude, solid ass pick. I'm glad you picked it because I hadn't watched it and it was a good, fun fucking first watch. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make Sandy sit through it again. Yeah, dude. What about you?
I love this movie. I've always been a big Jackie Chan fan since I was a young lad. He's done it all, dude. Rumble in the Bronx, Mr. Nice Guy, Rush Hour, fucking Shanghai Noon, and Shanghai Nights. Like, the guy's done some great work. Not to mention like his like China films, Super Cop, what have you. He's done a bunch of stuff, but I feel like he's always had, much like Jet Li, the stigma behind him for being his identity is linked to what he's able to do physically, not per se his acting chops. So seeing him take on something this serious and absolutely crush expectations, he delivers on the sadness, the melancholy of essentially losing his entire family, and playing this kind of tragic character. But what's most interesting about the way that they play him in this film is that we don't know that he's ex special forces until maybe halfway through, where they finally figure that out. And it's and the whole film is his plot line in particular is, you know, the British government and the Irish government seem to vastly underestimate what he's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays into that, and he does such a good job. You know, he straight up warns everybody, like, you know, give me the names and everything, it will be fine. And they just kind of brush him off, and they brush him off one too many times, where he gets fed up, and he pretty much he goes like full Taken style.
Yeah, dude. You know what else I fucking loved is going into this movie. I didn't really know much about it other than kind of, you know, the general, you know, what it was about. But I love that fact, how you go into it thinking that it's going to be a serious movie, but kind of Jackie Chan was just going to go off, and it's the complete opposite of what we're used to seeing. Like you said in your write-up, the choreography is fucking awesome, but it looks sloppy, and it's meant to be because that's the way he is, and you're not really used to seeing Jackie play, you know, parts like that. You're used to him seeing just fucking super polished, fucking beating the shit out of everybody in like a second, and that's not the case in this.
No, because we're getting in this one, which he doesn't do much now that he's in his 60s, but getting the salt and pepper Chan is rad, because it that's still, like you were saying, it translates into his choreography, where he is having trouble and he does make mistakes, and it just adds to the ambiance of the reality of the situation, where although he is capable and has the skill set, he's still very rusty and is just getting back into the swing of things. And then you see that because the action set pieces in this are few and far between. There's only a couple standout ones. But although he does beat some ass, he does get hurt in the process as well. And so I think we both really can appreciate those little kind of details where it's not just one-sided. And what's crazy to me is that the marketing for this movie is making you think that it's going to be all about him. And his story, and that's it. And there's so much more going on with this. It reminded me of like Atomic Blonde, where if you're not paying attention, if you open up your phone or you do something for like 5 seconds, you're lost, because that's how fast it takes you to lose sight of what's happening in this. There's so many names being thrown around, and little twists and turns in this. It's like an espionage thriller, so you have to be, and that's why I said what I said in my write-up, is that if you're not 100% invested, you're probably going to take away from this that it was kind of boring, what have you, because it's very, very much dialogue driven, and you have to care and pay attention and understand what's going on.
I feel like it's kind of going like jumping forward into things, but I feel like that was like maybe my one the one thing I kind of disliked was the fact that there was a lot going on. So you did really have to pay attention. Like I couldn't be like the first 10 minutes I had my laptop out doing notes, and I was like, shit, I'm not going to be able to do this. Like I got to pay attention.
Yeah. That's the one thing that made like, because I was doing the research, I was pretty surprised that this wasn't a bigger hit in the US, because it basically made its budget back with us, and then of course in other territories it just fucking murdered, because you have, it's based in London, where most of the movie takes place, and then in Ireland, and then you're going to have, Jackie's loyal following. from China. So
Mhm.
it was just, it kind of took me by surprise that not more people went out to see it over here, because Jackie Chan is still like a fundamental action star,
Yeah,
from the 90s for sure, early 2000s.
it's definitely one of those movies that you watch and you didn't get to see in theaters, and after watching it, definitely one of those where you wish you would have seen it on a bigger screen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Also, what adds a lot to the movie is the fucking score kicks ass because fucking Cliff Martinez did it. That's your boy from Drive.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you know that, man. Cliff Martinez doesn't get a lot. I feel like he's still largely unappreciated. He's done a lot of stuff. I would put him on a par with Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for his style,
Yeah.
his effectiveness. He always has this, like, it's him when you hear his style. No matter what it could be whatever movie, but when you hear what he does, it's like it clicks in your brain. If you're, of course, a fan of his work. But yeah, Cliff Martinez, shout out, so good, and he adds so much with what he brings with his score. He adds so much to this movie where everything is heightened, and it just meshes well. I'm glad that they hired him for this.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of different. That it's something different that he's done. You wouldn't think that he'd do anything like this. He kind of tends to work with like the same people, right?
Yeah. I mean, the other kind of, sometimes he does like really out in left field. Like he scored Contagion with Matt Damon and Lawrence Fishburne. That movie that
we should have watched before 2020.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he scored that, so it's not totally out of his realm to do like really like random shit. But
yeah, I guess that's right. But even that too, like that movie, that score adds so much.
Mm-hmm.
Can never get away from fucking Drive, can't we, Wes? On this?
Yeah. Nope. Never. Never. Let's talk about how twisty this film is pretty wild, man, because so Quan is, and his, like, I think she's in maybe college or high school. Her, daughter is getting ready to go to a dance and wants to pick up her dress. So he takes her to, Quan takes her to pick up her dress, and then there's like this bomb that nobody knows about right here on the corner where they stop, and it goes off, and his daughter is basically murdered. He's injured, but he's not, in the same proximity as his daughter, so he ends up losing her. And then he goes to, at first, I think it's the British government, to find out what they're doing, if they've figured out anything, and of course they've released that it is the IRA have taken credit for it, and they use their syntax, and they drop a certain code word, so there's that hint. And then we're introduced to Pierce Brosnan's character, who is Liam Hennessy, who has a background in the IRA, but now he's basically like a government politician who works closely with Britain, and he's trying to play it straight and say that he doesn't support, obviously, domestic terrorism, even though he does have, whether he knows it or not, kind of close ties to the IRA still, which is why Quan decides to use him as a way to get the information that he needs. And it just kind of continuously goes off the rails. We do find out that Liam, the Irishman, government official, he's a cheater. He does have a wife, but he's a cheater. And then it comes into play that his wife is also cheating on him with is it his brother or nephew?
It's his nephew, and his nephew is working for him.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild. Yeah. There's a lot to take in, but what Liam does to kind of catch this group of rogue IRA terrorists is they're setting up like another plot to set off a bomb in the public in London somewhere, and Liam tells only like the head of the British government, his name escapes me, and then his nephew. So only the three of them know that there was going to be a change in the code word. And so the next bomb goes off, and there is no code word. It's been like they've been duped pretty much. And then it's revealed that because Liam's wife is sleeping with Liam's nephew, who knew the code word, she had heard on the phone that there was going to be a new code word and tipped off these new people because she was upset that her brother was killed in some kind of accident, and she secretly blames her husband Liam for it and hates him secretly or whatever. And so that's one of the other major subplots alongside. And then keeping in mind Quan is like on his total like a separate entity where he's doing his own thing and slowly figuring out who these people are. And basically he uses Liam to get the names, but then the FBI or the SWAT end up figuring out where these terrorists are too, or where they're held up at. And that basically brings us to the conclusion of the film, where Quan ends up getting to these terrorists first, and there's this crazy kind of shootout. He gets them all, and then the SWAT kind of infiltrates, and they find just I think there's 3 guys and 1 woman. Is that correct?
Yeah.
The woman's still alive but injured. But there's one more bomb that they've planted in this guy's laptop, correct?
Yeah. They have plans like putting it on the plane that all the foreign leaders are going on, right?
Yeah, to take them all down at once. And they're able to miraculously get this computer and throw it down like an air shaft and avoid any further casualties.
Yeah, dude, it's like I said, it's a solid like espionage thriller that Brosnan and Chan fucking put on one of the best acting jobs they've done. And all those twists and turns just add to it.
It does. And I totally agree with what you said at the top of the show, that because of these guys, like they're bringing their A game as far as their acting chops to the table, they really do keep it alive.
No, they really do. Like, I remember, like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, man, Pierce is really acting the fuck out of this. Like, he's acting for his goddamn life.
Yeah.
And it's good. Like, he's super believable, and it translates very well.
Yeah, when he's trying to get information out of his friend after he realizes he's been kind of backstabbing him. So he's all he shoots him in the guy in the thigh, and he goes, "Now this is me being nice."
And he fucking shoots him again, and then he fucking pistol whips him, and he gets like opens up a big ass gash on his fucking face.
You know what it is that he's super committed to that accent. And then, fun fact, this was, I think, the first time Brosnan and director Martin Campbell reunited to do another movie since 1995's GoldenEye.
Damn, really?
Yeah. GoldenEye.
That's wild.
Fucking GoldenEye, dude.
Better 60. What's better, the movie or the game?
Oh, I don't know. To me, they've always went hand in hand. No, because I mean,
true.
The game is technically like based on the movie. Shitty graphics, of course, but
dude, but those graphics were everything to us.
Yeah, at the time, yeah, and then the multiplayer like capabilities were just like, whoa, dude! Like this is kind of unheard of. It was groundbreaking, man. GoldenEye, especially because, and I'm sure we've talked about this time and time again, but games based on movies usually are trash. They're usually subpar games. You know, there's a few exceptions, and GoldenEye is like a big exception.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a huge exception. It's probably, I mean, fucking, that's quintessential multiplayer right there. Like that's where probably, where all of it began for on console.
Yes. I remember when I was in middle school, somebody would bring their N64 into the computer lab, and like after hours, we would just play GoldenEye, and that's after it had been out for so many years. People still loved it then, you know.
Dude, there was one kid. I was always PlayStation, but there was one kid on the block who had a 64, and we'd all go over his house after school and fucking play the shit out of that. Just take turns with two controllers.
If you liked Pierce Brosnan's performance in this and you haven't seen Remember Me, I strongly recommend checking that out.
That's a good one.
With our boy Robert Pattinson.
That's a fucking movie where you don't know where that fucking twist is going. You just like, what?
Oh yeah, I went to see that in theaters, and dude, I was like, oh, hell no, you guys didn't get all manipulative right now.
You shed a tear? Did you shed a tear for our future Batman?
I did, man. They got me with that. He's so fucking good in that movie, man.
Yes, he is.
That movie's way better than it has any right to be. Shit. Going back to The Foreigner, did you in your research did you hear about how when there's a kind of a set piece where they have one of those double-decker buses, those like red buses that blow up, and I guess when they were shooting that, right, not everybody was informed in the area, so they got the city got a bunch of calls.
Oh shit.
Of people thinking that it was an actual like terrorist attack.
Yeah. Fuck.
Which is insane.
That's wild.
Is there anything that stood out to you as far as scenes or?
So the scene where we talked about where Pierce is trying to get that info out of the after he knows that what everything's going down, and he shoots him a couple times in the leg and pistol whips him, and I think eventually kills him, right?
Yeah.
That scene, and then the little scene between Jackie and him when we fucking think he killed the dog. God damn it, not the dog. That scene I really like.
It's
not supposed to be funny, but he's like, "You killed my dog." He's like, "No, he's just asleep."
Yeah, because they make you like you're terrified. Yeah. Where you're like, no way, Jackie did this, dude. There's no way. Because if you're paying attention throughout, besides the mercenaries who are willfully trying to kill him, he doesn't go out of his way to hurt anybody. He just sends warnings, and he'll knock people unconscious, what have you, but he doesn't actually kill anybody. So when it comes to the dog, you're like terrified, where you're like, no, did he finally snap and go over, past this boundary? And then he's, his dog is just asleep.
But yeah, those two scenes, just any scenes with them, dude, in general, are just fucking solid scenes. But that one with the dog, that little scene, that's probably one of my favorites. What about you?
I really like that scene where Liam sends his basically his crew out, because they figure out where Quan is, and he's hiding out in Belfast at an Airbnb. They figure out where he is, and they go and kind of ambush him, and they're not supposed to hurt him, just kind of shake him up and chase him out of Northern Ireland, pretty much. And of course, Quan doesn't go quietly and just unloads on all of those dudes. And it was awesome to see, an older Jackie Chan kind of like just in his element and going through windows and fucking like scaling rooftops and all of this shit that we've come to love with things like Rumble in the Bronx, where that he's just capable of doing his own stunts, and it's still, even now that he's in his 60s, pulling this stuff off. Yeah,
that seems awesome. I like how he goes in that little chute, and the guy goes after him and kicks him, and he fucking kicks him out.
A legend. I'm still waiting for the next Rush Hour, man.
I know. Just give him everything all the money in the world, and just fucking let them do that movie. Even, what would work too, is even if they were in it, obviously they're getting both older, can't do a lot of the things they used to, but kind of bring in like a couple new fresh faces, or Chris Tucker's character's kid, or Jackie had kids, or something like that.
So what would you give The Foreigner, man?
Out of 5?
Yes.
I think a 3 is good. 3.5. I do 3.5 out of 5. Like I said, it's just a solid movie, dude. And if you're looking for something good on Netflix to watch, and you can pay attention, check it out. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay. Well, with that being said, what do you want to talk about next show?
I want to do Knives Out. Yeah, Thin Glass Onion kind of made me want to go back and rewatch it and kind of dissect it again. And what better way than to do it on the show?
That's a great pick, because it does feel very holiday-ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exciting. All right, man. So, as you said, next week will be your focus. Knives Out, credible ensemble cast. Can't wait to talk about it. Haven't seen it in what feels like a few years now. So
yeah,
excited.
Hell yeah. And it'll get you ready for Glass Onion.
That's right. Still bummed that we weren't able to join you to watch it in the theater.
It's okay. I was like, I guess I'll take you, Sandy.
Check out The Foreigner, everybody. It's streaming right now on Netflix. Very good film.
Watch that shit.
So this is Wesley Swanson and Ryan Jimenez signing off, saying good fight and good night.
I've been affiliated with the IRA for 30 years. When I fought hard against the violence. I went to prison for what I did and paid my debt. Now I serve the politics of both sides, trying to heal the wounds and bridge the divide. Again, my sincere condolences. There's nothing I can do. What if your wife